up next, wait, before that, wait. You guys have a phone, right? And all of you guys have a phone. Let's take that phone out and let's put it on silent. But when you do take that phone,
and his last he was the lead architect for Zynga, one of the leading mobile gaming companies. And the other company that he has built, Odax Health, he just exited for a 9-figure amount 1.5 months ago. So in US dollars, not Zimbabwean currency. So that's also worthwhile mentioning. So please join us and let's welcome. And also with us we have one of our greatest representatives of the partner StartupDhaka. We have Mustafiz, who is the founder and CEO of StartupDhaka. He's an angel investor. He's also an entrepreneur. He has worked previously with HSBC, and he is one of the key engines and drivers and catalysts behind building the community of entrepreneurship in Bangladesh, and also the founder of the very cool co-working space Wave that aims to bring together successful entrepreneurs. So if you would like to join us, Mustafiz, thank you. So the purpose of this conversation is to have a chat with both Thor and Mustafiz from the entrepreneur and venture point of view. With the GIST initiative, when we started this initiative, we decided to focus everything on the entrepreneur. So all the resources we have centered on the entrepreneur, the training, the mentorship, the support, everything. So 2 years and a half into the GIST initiative, this approach worked. Our top entrepreneurs raised about 21 million in funding, US dollars, generated 800 jobs, and they are about 24 million in revenue. We are talking about seed and early stage companies across all the countries we work with. Also, we build a social media network that has about 240,000 members on Facebook. We'll welcome all you to join. It's a GIST initiative. One thing we'd like to discuss with our guests today, with Thor and with Mustafiz, from the venture point of view, from the entrepreneur, a key idea is how do you come up with the idea of a venture? As we work in a lot of countries, we see the same type of ventures coming. Not all the time they really address a problem, and not all the time the entrepreneur actually, I mean, a lot of times the entrepreneur cares about that subject, but what I understood is like, what's the link? How do you identify a need, and why do you care about it?
Thanks for the introduction, first of all. I'm glad to be here. So the question around how to come up with the ideas is one that assumes that the idea is what's important. And I think the one thing certainly that I've learned is the idea itself is the easy part. Because we can all sit here and come up with thousands of ideas. They're all good ideas in and of themselves. But getting the idea into becoming real and into becoming a company is the hard part. And there's a lot of methodology, and a lot of heuristics, and a lot of tactics that are coming out, whether it's lean startup or customer development or a number of other things that you can study and that we're certainly teaching here in the workshop and talking a lot about how to take the idea and validate that somebody actually cares about it, that there's a customer, that there's a user, that there's some sort of unique need being filled by what it is that you're trying to do. So what I would recommend as an entrepreneur, to other entrepreneurs, is put a lot of effort up front into validating the unique customer value or unique customer need that you're trying to address. Even by starting with 20 ideas and putting effort into validating all of them, because what you will learn from that is what can actually work and what can potentially scale. Because if you just take your idea and you sit by yourself and you put all your effort and all your money and all your resources into building it, and that's then a year later, 2 years later, that's the first time the user or customer actually sees it, you might be dead wrong.
Okay, so it's very important once you have an idea to validate it, and that's a very key process of actually confirming that there is a need that is being fulfilled. Mustafa, do you have any reflections on the ideation side here? Is how people coming up with ideas for ventures? I see, and as through the bootcamp we saw, it's a super entrepreneurial spirit. It seems like everyone has 4 to 6, 7 venture ideas at the same time. So it's also a matter of kind of focus and also how much they resonate with each one of the type of issues or problems or the needs that they want to address. Do you have any reflections?
Sure. When I wear many hats. Some of the hats I wear is an angel investor. So far invested in 2 companies, including my own. But when I talk with startup founders here, and oftentimes when I ask for, okay, beside the idea, why you? What is that, make this work? What are the skill sets that you have to make it, different? And oftentimes I also go after the motivation. Why are you doing this? And what oftentimes I struggle, or I see the founders struggle with answering this very simple question. Oftentimes they say, there's a need for it, which Thor, touched on. Okay, if there's a need for it, have a proven model? Do you have any market data? Did customer buy your product or service that you're talking about? So these basic fundamentals are often absent here. It's always driven by the cool factor. I don't know, maybe they think it's cool to be a startup founder that may have certain, fulfill certain personal wish. But I often discourage people not to take the entrepreneur route. Before this, I used to work for a multinational bank for 7 years, 5 years in Singapore, 5 years in Dhaka, 2 years in Singapore. And then I was again called back here. And at that moment in time, I decided whether I should look for something or should I just, go after my, craving that I always thought. Because I started as an entrepreneur, I have a family business, and I then moved into, professional realm. And one of the things I did adjust is that I used to get a six-figure check, and it was a very comfortable life. And I talked with the first person I talked with was my wife, and I told her that the decisions I'm going to do right now is going to have a major effect in my life and also your life too. And also I had a 1-year-old kid then, and I told her that we will have to make serious life adjustment here. We may not have a car, we may not have a driver, maybe we have to live with my parents, I don't know, which I am right now. But soon we're moving out.
Flash news.
Yes. So the point I'm trying to make is that it is very, very difficult. Can you consciously take that decision and go for it? And I would discourage 99% of the people that don't do it. It's tough. Sorry.
Okay. We'll also be getting questions. So please if you have a question, I think some of our colleagues will give you some paper. If not, just prepare your question. About 10 minutes, we'll start getting questions. You wanted to add something?
Yeah, just also like to add something that you guys can do and take away from this in a more practical way. There's a fantastic post by Paul Graham about startup ideas. Paul Graham is the founder of Y Combinator, which is probably the top accelerator incubator. We've seen hundreds of companies go through and tens of thousands of pitches. So he spent a lot more time than probably anybody else on this concept of how to think of ideas, what's a good idea, what's not a good idea, etc. His article makes one key point, which is that there's 2 types of ideas. One that, and he uses a great metaphor for it, it's like a pond where it looks like it's a very wide thing that affects a lot of people, where every single person in this room has a certain problem that you can address. But it's not very deep. So it's not a pain point. It's something that, yes, it'd be nice, it'd be a minor convenience if we had this, something a little bit different, versus something that's a level, which is a very deep thing, but not very wide. So it may only affect a small number of people, but you can really dig in and get to a solution of some sort for that. You can really validate the problem you're trying to solve because it's something that affects them so profoundly. And I recommend that all the entrepreneurs here that are exploring ideas, or even those that are just interested in it, read that article.
Great insights. Also, I will add another resource with the GIST initiative. We did a series of Tech Connect global broadcasts on a couple of topics, including one on ideation, where we have 1 hour of content specifically on this, also with other US entrepreneurs and diaspora, and you can find them on our website, gistinitiative.org. Moving on, also another key element is how, once you identify a problem, a need, you care about it, how do you assemble a team, and what sort of principles, how should you think about building a team, and what some of the things you should do, some of the things you should not do, and is there a team different for stage 0 from stage 1? How does this evolve from your experience, Tor?
So there's a few different, just like you said, a few different facets to it. One of them is get people that are passionate about whatever it is that you're trying to do, because it's a slog. It's going to be a lot of hard work. You're going to go through a lot of tough times together. And if you don't have the same aspirational vision that you're working towards, it's going to be really tough. And sort of a follow-on from that is, if you go into business with your friend, assume that the friendship is, it's going to be tough, and it's probably going to be over. Yeah, exactly. There are exceptions, of course, and you know, good on those that make it work, but it's very, very tough. And I don't know if you want to add something specific here.
When I came back last year, one of the first things I wanted to do is to observe and find out who I can work with. Someone or somebody, people with similar vision and values and aspirations. So it took me almost 7 to 8 months to finally decide to work with certain people. So it was a lot of reflection and observation and engaging. And one of the first person I did got into investing, and then we have done 2 investments so far. Is Fayez Tahir. I met him last year in Startup Weekend, 3rd January, early morning fog, and there, Fayez was standing there, and I said hi. That hi translated into this today. But I didn't jump into it. I took my time to understand the person, and I took the long shot. So yes.
Those are great, wonderful examples. I want to dig deeper a little bit from the point of view, what sort of skills, expertise, do you see any trends, and both of you, in terms of mistakes entrepreneurs make? Because I know from US also, people will hang out with the people that are exactly like them. But to build a venture, you need a different type of skill set. And if you start from the beginning with the DNA, with the set of team that you know doesn't have the skills, and you start distributing equity to them, then you need to redo the company or kind of venture out. I mean, I would like to dig deeper in that.
So the biggest thing is you'll never have all the skill sets you need. Like, your company will never be completely full of everything you need. There will always be vertical gaps. And as in an early stage company with less than 10 people, you can pretty much assume that everybody's going to be doing every job in the company. So I'd say the biggest characteristic to look for in companies that are less than 10 people is being humble, being able to just do whatever it takes to execute against your vision, to clean up if something's a mess. There's nothing that's beneath them. And then when the company grows, you need a different skill set. And that skill set transitions from this just get stuff done attitude into more of a leadership management skill set, which if you find a person that can do both, that's amazing, but it's very, very rare. So one of the toughest things for entrepreneurs is to recognize that there's transition points in the life of the company as you scale. But I'd say in the earliest phases, if that's what you're asking about, people that are willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, even if on paper their skill set is not a perfect match. Because really they're part of the team. They can learn, they're a part of the team, they help out, they add value to the company.
Okay, so it's a certain value set that's very important.
Mindset.
Mindset and value. Okay. Any reflections? Mr. P?
I would say hire slow, fire fast. That's quite important. You cannot decide, okay, let me see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months and see whether this works out. A startup life, in 3 months, 4 months, change, things change so fast that, they will become a liability that's going to just not sink you, but the whole company. So, and these are people decisions, and they're always very hard. But if you're a startup founder or a leader, these are some things that you have to do, and very, very fast. Another thing that I think Thor says that when you're starting out, it requires a different kind of skill sets for teams. A lot of times you will require people who can multitask because A, you don't have the resources, so you can't hire a lot of people, so people need to be good at doing many things. But as you grow a little bit, then you look for specialization. Then you have resources that you expand on, but ultimately, so I think, so the styles and the manner of resources, it differs a little bit, from C stage to growth stage.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the audience? So I will continue with the one or a few more questions I have, but in the meantime, if you have. So from what I learned here is that you don't have yet like an institutional venture capital and a very formed networks of angel investors, so on and so forth. So basically, bootstrapping would be one of the key strategies to actually go about building your company. Do you have any thoughts on how some of the companies in US, or maybe Mustafi's, actually managed to successfully build their ventures through customers?
Sure. So bootstrapping today is very different from bootstrapping 5 years ago. It's very different from bootstrapping 10 years ago. To get a company off the ground 10 years ago probably cost $500,000. 5 years ago, probably $50,000. Today, it's $5,000. The amount of resources you have at your fingertips with AWS and Roku and these platforms on demand give you enterprise class infrastructure for free. And then once it starts scaling, it's $20 a month. That goes up. But that's one example of all of these critical business functions that before you had to invest in, or infrastructure investments that today are available as a service. Many, many, many more. So the marginal cost of a new company is effectively what it was before for a product or an idea. So bootstrapping is probably the right answer for a vast majority of companies. But another question that you sort of hinted at the end is to what end? Because if you're trying to grow the company and trying to scale the company and hire more people than the original founders, then you obviously have to have capital. And in the earliest days, salaries are an order of magnitude more than almost anything else in the company in terms of the expenses. But there is a way to do that off of a customer's, basically revenue from the customers for certain types of companies. I think that's a valuable point for the entrepreneurs in this room, because the flexibility in the earliest stage investments of convertible notes and other types of things that make it easy to fundraise don't exist here. So instead of going right into hiring a bunch of people and scaling out a company, it might be a good idea to take the customer development mindset that we've been talking about and apply it to getting an actual customer, even as a service business, that's related to what you want to build, so that you can transition revenue and people into your product eventually after you get a deeper understanding of what your customers actually need. So It's not bypassing the venture ecosystem, but it's one of these hacks you can use to get around the fact that it doesn't quite exist here in the same way.
I firmly believe that money, good ideas doesn't require money. Money, run after good ideas. This is, I think this is universal. Regardless of it's in U.S. or Africa or Bangladesh, I firmly believe in this. When I wanted to jump into the project, the documentary that I did, StartupDhaka, I thought of, okay, how do I finance this? And when I was sharing this idea with my wife, and she was like, so now you're gonna use our savings to make a film that may not even get sold or seen? Are you crazy? And I said, let me figure out. So the second thing is, if you are a startup founder, you have to be resourceful. Resourcefulness is a trait that you need to have. That means create something of nothing. It's a talent that founders need to have, entrepreneurs need to have. So what I did was I used crowdfunding. I went to Indiegogo. Thankfully, I had international credit card and a bank. So I was able to link it up. And my target was to raise $8,500, and I raised $9,000. So if I can do it here, sitting here, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of what the idea was, because people believed in the idea and gave the money. And I would say about 70% of the people were strangers. I didn't know them before. 70%. So they didn't back me. My friends and family backed me up, the 30%. But majority were strangers. So that is my takeaway.
That's a great point. With the GIST initiative, we had those entrepreneurs from Egypt, from Lebanon, that were able to raise 80,000, 70,000 on the crowdfunding platforms. One of the key things right there is advice is you start with the inner circle of friends, and how you actually use social media campaigns to move to the strangers, how they call it, how you activate them to support your campaign. And we do have a broadcast on crowdfunding as well. So I would like to review everything and conclude with some of the key takeaways. So first, there are a lot of good resources like the Y Combinator ideation, the GIST Tech Connect ideation, broadcast, to kind of think through the steps that you need to take when you come up with the idea for a venture. The second key takeaway is that having ideas is not easy, but it's not the most difficult part. The difficult part is in execution, and how you create actually a team that cares about those things, that is able to multitask and do whatever it takes. Signing up the first customers and having a customer development mindset is critical, because actually when you don't have availability of capital, the only way, one of the few only ways in which you can grow your company is actually through customers. And fourth, to fund the early stage development of your company, you may use the crowdfunding tools to move ahead. I would like to thank a lot to our friend Thor from Iceland and US, and also to our partner Mustafis from StartupDhaka. Yeah.
You went real fast through some of the sources of information. Are a lot of those on gistinitiative.org?
Yes. Yeah.
So slowly for some people.
gistinitiative.org, and we have all the recordings of the broadcast that we have done, including a visual summary of all the sessions with all the key concepts that we organized. Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll move on to the next stage. Thank you.
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Not loud enough. Come on. Gotta get that energy. The pitches that are gonna start. Pitches. that most exciting part of the day. Most exciting part of the day. It's going to be exciting because we have a lot of great people. We have a lot of great entrepreneurs. We have a lot of great mentors. We have some great judges who've flown all the way from the US, Malaysia, different countries. So it's going to be exciting. And I think this experience already, I'm really excited. I can't wait to hear the pitches. But before we hear the pitches, we got to get to know how the things are going to be judged and meet some of our judges. Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is on. So basically, we have assembled a great group of judges with us. We have a number of the judges that flew from US. We have with us Mr. Jim Bagnola, who is the president of the Leadership Group International. Jim has worked very closely with entrepreneurs from a lot of the countries around the world, I think 90 countries and still counting. He has been instrumental also in my personal development as a professional. Next we have with us Jim Chang, who is the Executive Director of the Office of Entrepreneurship at George Washington University. Jim works closely with a lot of the entrepreneurs and also commercialization experts from US with the National Science Foundation, and he's a former entrepreneur and investor as well. We have with us, you just met Thor. We welcome him back as a judge. And we have with us Mr. Jim Davidson, who is an early stage investor and former oil and natural executive. And Jim is also one of the early investors in Twitter, and we are actually leveraging Twitter network to actually advance the words and the learning from this event. And we have with us also from the Boston Consulting Group, Mr. Zarif Munir.
People always amazing this morning and leaving again tonight. So thank you.
Zarif is also an investor and is also a supporter of entrepreneurship, in specific in Bangladesh. And we have also with us Mr. Shumo Rahman, who is Director of Intelligent Management. He has been judging also yesterday the judging that got us from 30 to 7. So I hope I did not forget anyone.
What about me?
We have the gracious presence of the MC. We had throughout this event we had Thor, that is used to have a hammer, and we have the MC. So I said the two of them together, it's MC Hammer. So we said that we'll have them entering on MC Hammer song. So moving on, I would like to say a few words about the event itself and how we got here, specifically from the type of the venture and the process of the pitching. So we had more than 100 applications from entrepreneurs in Bangladesh, people that wanted to come here, and we reached those applications to the partners that Fayaz mentioned. We had down-selected from 100 to 30, the top 30 most promising that participated in this bootcamp in the training program for the past 2 days. And the judges yesterday down-selected to the top 7 companies. Today what you will see is you will have, each one will have a 4-minute presentation and 3-minute Q&A. And Fayaz will introduce you the companies and the order for the pitching.
Okay. And when they say 4 minutes, it's going to be 4 minutes. They will not get an extra second. I will make sure of that. Yes. And I've done this throughout this, and I've taken the mic away from them, patted them on the back, gave them a hug. They just got distracted, okay? So far, we have 7 teams, and this is the order of they're going to be presenting. We have Bongo, we have Buckets Engineer, we have Cityscope, Light Castle Partners, Panacea, Singularity, and Shopji Bazar. Exciting names, huh? I'm sure you guys are waiting to find out what they do, right? Yes? Yes! Come on, what is this? I think we need to get the wave going. We need to get the wave going. We gotta get the energy up in this room. We gotta get these guys. Come on, guys, ready? We're gonna start from here at the right side of the wave. Ready? Go up. Up, 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 up. Yeah, that's good. Because the pitchers who are coming here, they need that support. They need your energy because they're going to be pitching in front of over 100 people who's sitting here. I'm nervous over here. All right? So anyways, let's, we should get started. All right? Can I get the first team up here? Bongo.
And
Can I get a round of applause? Do not start until I say your time starts. We just got the wrong presentation. Can we get the next presentation here? Buckets, can you guys come up? This will... A startup, you always have technical difficulties. And that's what startup life is all about. So today you got to experience it, and you know what we do? When we have a problem, we find a solution, we find a way. And that's the way to go. All right. So next, can I get a round of applause for Okay, when I say your time starts, that's when you start. What is this? I'm my unlucky day. Should work now? Can I get sound support? There you go. Finally. Thank you.
Hello.
All right. Can I get another round of applause? Good. Okay. And your time starts now.
So, 28 years ago, my best friend's sister got diagnosed with autism. And the biggest challenges that our parents faced was that they didn't have access to the right information on what to do, where to go, and what treatment to get. And an ineffective education system, which led to a severe mental deterioration for her. Let's take a look around. In Bangladesh, there's 1.5 million children who are affected by autism. In China, it's 10 million. And in India, it's 10 million, and in China, it's 14. And globally, the rate is just increasing. But no fear, because Bucket Engineers is here. And we are a software solution, subscription-based, for educational games and applications to develop special and specific cognitive and communication skills of autistic children. How do we do this? So we have developers developing specific apps based on their need and putting it into the Buckets platform, from which therapists and parents have access to pre-designed buckets, or they can customize their own bucket. For example, for Fatima right here, with the 9-year-old autistic children studying in Beautiful Mind, an organization for autism, who has shown interest to acquire the solution from us. Our customers are the parents and the social organizations and educational institutions for autism. Our revenue stream is the software subscription and the application and games purchases. So we need 2 years before we break into revenue for product development and research, and we need $200,000 for the investment period. After which we are targeting 500 children with the revenue of $40,000. For the second year, it's 1,000, and for the third year, we want to target 2,000 children in Bangladesh. So, my call of action is to you investors to believe in us, because with our solution, the parents and therapists can have the right access to information and an effective education system. And this is just the start. Thank you.
Wow. Fantastic. You got 4 minutes, but I hope she delivered the message. Good. So, Manes, are you ready to get some questions from the judges?
Sure, I'm ready to get grilled.
Grilled? So, judges, can we get some questions?
My team is currently right now with the research team. We have about 3 researchers working for us, collecting data and talking to the customers. And eventually we want to grow into having a development team of our own and a therapist and an educators team. So that's for the future. Right now we don't need this because we're going to be working with organizations who already has therapists and educators under their ship.
You had a certain number of target children.
Yeah.
Why so few?
Because it's going to take a lot of time to aware and educate the parents, the organizations, and the therapists on what we're trying to do, because awareness about autism is currently really low in our country. So because of that, we're believing that initially the numbers are going to be lower, but eventually we want to increase it to a higher number with an effective awareness system.
Can you talk a little bit more about the source of the content behind the system, sort of the credibility and authenticity of the recommendations for the parent?
For the parents, as in what kind of applications and games we're going to be using. So there has been a couple of US-based and Canada-based researchers on certain kinds of games and applications, which are also available on Autism Speaks. And those are being validated by the researchers that they have a certain kind of development over a certain period of time for specific children.
Any other questions, judges? Master Mazina, any questions? No?
Could you explain a little bit more about the revenue sources? You said software and games. That sounded vague.
Yeah, well, the software subscription is a one-time cost. So we're thinking that inside the software, which is the platform, basically, you put in the applications, and the entire software is a one-time cost. And individually, based on the child's need, you're going to be buying different kinds of applications. Then basically, like if you have software with, say, like I'm selling a software to you with 5 different kinds of applications, but your child does not need those 5 applications. He probably needs only 2 out of those. So they have the option of buying which one they want and which one is really going to be effective for them. So this is how there's a true revenue system. First you have the software, and then you can individually buy the applications which are going to be required for the children based on the therapist's recommendation.
What's going to be your customer acquisition strategy? How are you actually get these parents to know about what you're doing?
So for example, the organization who has already shown interest in us, such as Beautiful Mind, we are partnering with them in order to get the customer base and talk to their parents and conduct various kind of trainings and workshops to educate them about what we're trying to do. Based on that, we will be moving on to several other organizations, and there are about like 23 to 28 organizations in Dhaka who are working for autism. So eventually we want to multiply the strategy that we're doing for Beautiful Mind and apply it to the other organizations and acquire their parents' clientele.
All right. Thank you very much. And a round of applause. Wasn't that exciting? Pretty exciting. Can I get the next team up again? Bongo. It's the right presentation now, right? I don't want to look like a fool in front of these guys. Good. Judges, are you guys ready? All right, and your time starts now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, MC Hammer, for having us. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I hope that when you're using Bongo, the experience will be seamless. Bongo is the most comprehensive entertainment portal in Bangladesh. We're a video on-demand service where we provide users the opportunity to watch any movie, TV show, drama, serial, news clips, sport clips, music videos, documentaries, any kind of entertainment on demand at your fingertips. It's available anytime, anywhere, on any platform where you can watch any form of content. So on mobile, on the web, Apple TV, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. Our platforms are, we have several platforms available where we will be providing our content to the telcos on their existing content portals, like the 3G TV and web portals. We're building our own web portal. MongoBD.com is our website, which will be launching later this year. And we're also building mobile apps, which will be native to iPhone and Android. Our current content library, we have thousands of videos. We have the largest content library in the country. We have 1,200 movies, over 1,000 TV shows, thousands of music videos, and hundreds of other clips, such as documentaries, short films, etc. This is what we have right now. By the time we launch the service, launch our website later this year, it should be 3 to 4 times this amount. And just to give you an idea, Hulu has 3,000 movies and 10,000 videos in their database. So once we're finished, our library will actually be larger than Hulu's. There's a lot of people in Bangladesh. 160 million people in the country, 15 to 20 million non-resident Bangladeshis who live all around the world and who have access to fast internet and have spending power. And there's another 90 million people in West Bengal who are also a target market for Bangladeshi content or Bengali content. Also, the target market is huge. Right now there's about 90 million mobile phone users in Bangladesh and 25 to 30 million internet users, and that number is rapidly growing. Our revenue model, we're charging from both mobile and online. For mobile, we have a subscription model where a user can pay a flat monthly fee and they get all the content they want. They can watch it anytime on mobile, or a per download basis. So if they want to just watch a movie or a music video, they pay each time they download it. And we're linking this up with all the telcos, so the charging mechanism will be through the mobile phone. And online, we have a subscription model. The site is free and the service is free, but if they want extra services, they can pay monthly, same as the Hulu Plus model. And also we're selling banner ads and ads in the videos, such as YouTube. The content that we're licensing, we license fully from the content owners, so from TV stations, film producers, production labels, music houses. And we're tying up the content exclusively. We're trying to get most of them exclusively, and what we have so far is mostly exclusive, but some of it is not exclusive. We have it for all territories and all digital platforms, and our copyright period is 50 years. As I mentioned, we're partnering with TV stations and all the other content producers. Our team is, right now we have a board of 6 people. I'm the managing director. Our chairman is Mr. Anisul Haq, who's quite a well-known personality in Bangladesh. He used to be a news presenter, and right now he's the chairman of Mohammadi Group, and he's ex-president of FBCCI, BGMEA, and SART Chamber of Commerce. The other directors all have a combined experience of investing in a lot of different companies, media, IT, and various other fields. Our future plans, our plans are to launch the same site in several different countries once our technology platform is fully built and seamless. We're planning to launch in Calcutta very soon, especially because they share the same language as us. And after that, we want to replicate the model in Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and other countries who have similar demographics. And our exit strategy is to sell out to a larger company, for example, Hulu, Netflix, or Google. Right now, their content licensing is territory-based. So the value proposition that we're going to give to them is that
thank you very much.
They can add on a new territory overnight.
Thank you.
This is a sneak peek of what our thing looks like.
All right. Questions, judges? Yes.
Does something like this exist in India?
In India, they have, there's 2 services. One is Hangama.com and one is BigFlix.com.
What prevents them from doing what you're doing?
In Bangladesh, we already have all the content and a lot of it is exclusively tied up. So even if any other competitor does come to Bangladesh or any local company does it, they're a few steps behind us and they'll never have the same library that we have.
How much does it cost you to get all those licenses?
It depends. We do a revenue share model, but we have to pay up front. So we will have spent and we'll be spending close to $150,000 in advance payments.
How much has gone to the company so far?
Our total budget is $250,000.
And what do you expect in revenue at some point in the future, year 2, year 3, at scale?
It's hard to predict because it's a completely new service. We can only look at the models that have from the telcos from fast content, value-added content. But we're targeting 1 million users, and we're expecting $1 million or $2 million a year at least. But hopefully much more.
I want to get a clarification on how long your licenses are. You said there's a copyright for 50 years. I didn't understand that, but why? So how long is your average license? Do you have them locked down for 3 years, 5 years?
Our contracts are between 5 and 10 years, but the copyright itself lasts for 50 years. So once we have the copyright from the content owner, we're legally allowed to display that content for 50 years under the same agreement and revenue share.
I was curious about, you mentioned that part of your revenue stream was going to be advertising based. What types of advertisers would be interested in being adjacent to this content?
What types of advertisers?
Yeah, who would be a typical sponsor of this content? Because you have a broad category of people that are outside the country and inside the country. How would you find advertising opportunities?
We would target services like telcos, a lot of multinational companies, consumer goods like Pepsi, restaurants like KFC. Basically brands that fit in with our target market would be mostly youth and young users, people who like entertainment, people who like movies, TV shows.
So I have a question about the strength of the content itself. Do you have any statistics on how popular local movies are compared to, say, foreign or other types of
Foreign movies are definitely more popular, and down the line, because we're trying to expand and go to a few different countries, we're also going to try and license North American content. But to give you an idea, the average hit movie, Bangladeshi movie on YouTube gets about 1 million hits. So it's not too bad.
Last question.
So can you talk a little bit about the technology behind this? I mean, presumably there's a platform to deliver this to your own, et cetera, et cetera. Are you licensing that? Are you building that?
We've licensed an open source video engine, and on top of that, we're building the front end and combining it with a lot of whatever features we need, and we're building the mobile app as well. Mobile app. We're building it. Basically, we're using an existing engine, but we're building everything else custom.
All right. Thank you so much. Can I get a round of applause? The clicker? Oh. All right. Up next, we have Cityscope. Would you please come forward? Judges, let me know when you're ready, and then we'll get started. And your time starts now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and respected judges. I am Omar Farhan Khan from Team Cityscope. I am the co-founder. Before I explain to you about my service, let's go to a common story. See, here a boy is studying, and suddenly the power cut occurs. What does he do? It's a waste of time. He can't manage his time properly, and it hampers his studies. So the boy gets frustrated as he's losing time. So what do? So Cityscope is here to offer this uncommon story. He is studying, which he should do as a student. And suddenly, as he's our premium customer, he gets a notification SMS from Cityscope about when the load shedding is going to occur. He plans his day out, and when the electricity goes, he's not sad, and it's fine. So he was prepared for it, and thanks to Cityscope. The problem we are focusing primarily is power cuts, and this is one of the biggest problems in our country, as it's a developing nation, and there is always about 1,000 to 1,500 megawatts shortage of electricity. So it hampers our day-to-day lives. It hampers our work, and more importantly about the industrial production, as many mold and glass factories depend highly on the production line, and if it stops suddenly, millions of dollars of the raw materials will get wasted. So we also plan to do some digital banners for the company, so that all the employees, the staff, the management, they can see about the load shedding timings and they can run the production smoothly. The solution is to know about the load shedding schedules, which is also known as the power cuts, so that you can plan out your day and make the maximum, because time is more valuable than money. You lose money, you earn it back. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. So Cityscope is there to do it for you. And this is one of the screenshots which it would be like. So you could see about the load shedding timings or a change in the power cut timings. And we will also be providing advertisement, which will be one of the methods of revenue for us. Like, as you can see, 20% off on all meats in Mina Bazar. So this would be our website interface, and this would be our interactive map. Here, the red zone would be showing the power cut area, the green one where the power is continuously on, and the yellow zone would be showing in 15 minutes where the power cut is going to occur. And if you press on a specific area, you would get to know about the timings. And this would be our mobile app interface for the Java, Android, and iOS platforms. But as in Bangladesh, most of the users don't have multimedia phones, so we would also be servicing SMS and call-based center services. And this would be our mobile app notification, where the internet users and the app users would get notified. Those who would subscribe to us, basically the service would be free. But if you want premium services like the notifications, the pop-up ads and anything, so they could subscribe to us. And we would be also adding notification ads so that the people could see and we could earn revenue from it. The best part is the data which we'll be getting is completely free because it's from the government. And we would collect the data, process it, and integrate it to our system so that our then the integrated map would generate the notifications, and finally the end users, those who are our customers, would get to know about. The competition which we are facing, a few power supply companies which are the government, but they have large complex data, about 50 pages for each area in Excel or PDF sheets. It's big and clumsy. A common man can't get through it, and it's very boring and tedious. And they are not, they don't have notification service, and they are not customer satisfaction oriented, which we are. The market opportunity is huge because 87% of the population currently in Dhaka city are availing electricity, 13% don't have access to electricity. And out of that, about half, they don't have any power backup. So they are the main target customers. We want that they should make the maximum use of their time and not waste it. In Bangladesh, there are about 90 million mobile users, of which 15 million are in Dhaka. So we, even if we get about 10% of them, so it would be about 1.5 million. And it would be very good for us for earning revenues. For marketing strategies, we would like to do public awareness campaigns, go to different offices and universities and factories. Then we would also like to do online advertisement, print media advertisement, and word of mouth for our company. The revenues.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask, judges, please ask questions.
One quick question.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully in 10 years time we will not have any electricity problem.
Yes, sir.
What kind of exit strategy you have?
Yes. As we are doing an integrated map system, so as we know the power system is gradually increasing, we hope to improve the traffic management system on our platform as our exit strategy.
How easy is it to get real-time data?
The power generation board generates, fixes a target for day-to-day production. Then it goes to the main power distribution company, and they have a chart fixed about, and it has an accuracy of more than 80 to 85%. A few problems might occur, but the percentage is pretty good to get the real-time data, except for a few problems.
Any other questions?
Is your target customer really the student who's wondering when to study, or is it the businesses that want to do?
Actually both. So we all want to save our time and make the maximum use of it. So a student, then even a student is worrying about his study time, and the factory owner is worrying about his production line and his money. So both are our customers.
I just wanted clarification. You mentioned premium subscription
Yes.
services. What would that product be?
The primary product would be free. Anybody would come to download our app or visit our website to get. But if they want a notification or they want to get a pop-up ad to know them before 15 to 20 minutes, then they would have to pay. Or if they don't, yes. And if they don't want to see ads, then they could also subscribe. That would be a good field experience, so they wouldn't see any ads there if they subscribe to us.
Any other questions from the judges? And Master Muzina, any question?
Yeah, your whole thesis seems to be your whole project.
Your whole project seems to be based on the assumption that power interruptions are all from pre-planned load shedding. What does your research show? What percentage of power interruptions are actually unplanned?
10 to 15% are unplanned. Those are for the power failures and repairs. It is about 10 to 15% range.
All right. Another question? Thank you very much. Thank you. Can I have Light Castle Partners up next? It's exciting, huh? Exciting, and good energy. I'll come up when the time is over. It's really exciting. And from the 20 people, we went to 60. 60 people went over to 600. 600 over people went to over a community of 1,000 people. And it just keeps growing. And what's exciting is that this growing community is in collaboration with all the other startup events that are happening too. We're not the only ones. There's plenty of people doing things. You have Startup Cup Social happening, Startup Weekend happening, and it's fantastic. You know why? Because it just raises the awareness for everyone about the startup community and entrepreneurship. Because entrepreneurship is what's going to lead this country forward, and that's what we know. Because our father's generation built from scratch, and now is the opportunity for these young men and women to lead the way for the next Bangladesh. So I hope that you encourage and show that energy when you clap, so that they can feel this, right? Good. All right. So we are going to get started again. So when I do, I say start, you start. And if you need the 1 minute, I will just stand up. All right? Okay. Judges ready? All right. Start.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bijan, co-founder of Light Castle Partners. Now, what are the 3 things that you need to make a powerful business decision? First, you need market data. But with only that, you're not going to have your full decision. Second thing you need to understand your internal business data. Now, once you combine these 2 parts of the information, what you next need is access to this data, which right now you have in your PDF reports, day-to-day daily reports, and everything. What if I say to you, I'll give you this data in this? An interactive dashboard that has all the market data, most submitted, and return analysis of the business so that you can make powerful business decisions. Let's take a look at the market. Bangladesh is a growing market. If you consider revenue line of USD 10 million to 500 million, there are 500 plus companies as of now. That includes FMCGs, FIs, capital markets, and impact investments. And this market is growing. Right now, it might be just USD 10 million a year, but this will grow 30 plus times in the next 3 years. And to get to the next billion, you have to change the status quo of how businesses make decisions as of now. Let us take a look at the pain point of a second generation CEO. The information is there. Central bank has a lot of information. The Bureau of Statistics has a lot of information. There's a lot of information the internal business has. But they are just in the form of Excel sheets in 100 different files. Read information, you need to call 100 different people. What if you have all this information in this particular dashboard, ready to focus on your core competencies of making decisions? And that's what we want to bring here through Light Castle Partners. Now, what's the status quo so far? What we have done so far? We have target customers in 3 broad segments. As of now, in the 10th month of our operation, we have 35 clients in the private, government, and the impact investment sector. In the private sector, we have worked with Mitsubishi, Generac, Starbucks, Hedge Funds International, and top local corporates. In the government sector, we worked with Dhaka Wasa so far. On the impact investment, we have worked with Swiss Contact Care and Tradecraft. Till date, the largest equity deal we have raised via business analytics is around USD 7.5 million. Right now, we're doing a syndication facility based on information with 7 banks that is worth USD 250 million. Deal flow till date is $75,000 as of now, and our burn rate is less than $4,000 per month. And we have already published 2 impact investments white paper with Caring. Let me talk a bit about the competition at this particular point in time. The competition comes in the form of market data from companies like AC Nielsen and from dashboards from companies like TCS and Domo. But none of them provides a seamless solution as of now through the whole value chain as we do. I just to highlight 2 episodic deals that we have particularly done. One is with Dhaka Wasa, that the scale of the slush management system of Bangladesh, which is a predictive analytics work. The second episodic deal we are doing right now with corporate structuring, which is a large Chicago-based conglomerate. This is the team we have right now. We have Saif right there, and all of us have backgrounds in investment and corporate banking, like CT, HSBC, Stanley, Deloitte. And we want to see that going forward, the investment influx in Bangladesh is going to grow. And as bigger investments come from outside, there's going to be need for data analytics, and that's where we globally position. Right now, we're focused on the local market, but we do want to go global, where the business service market is $300 billion per year. Thank you.
Thank you. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You talk about the minutes. It's all right. Can you convince these guys outside? Questions, judges. Can I get the microphone right there?
I'm a little bit confused as how much time does it take to customize a dashboard for a particular business? You have 35 clients. Was it a 1-week engagement, a month engagement, or how standardized?
It depends on the amount of data that the customer wants. Suppose if he wants a full-fledged data like the restructuring we're doing for a particular local conglomerate, it takes around 2 months. But if you just want say one segment of the business, you want to look at this segment that should I go invest in this particular business or not. So you collect market data about say 15-20 days, and for the next 10 days you build a financial model and the business critical parameters. So that takes around a month. So it varies depending on the customer needs.
So I think what differentiates you from, say, a Bloomberg or Thomson Reuters in terms of getting data is the difficulty of getting Bangladeshi data. Is that correct? And if so, how hard is it to get this data? How hard it would be for Bloomberg or somebody else to try to do the same thing?
There are 2 aspects to it. In Bangladesh, it has a lot of the data you collect is through your networks. Like we use our university alum networks extensively. So, and you have to talk with these people, and you have to use techniques such as mystery shopping. You go to a particular shop, you talk to the salesperson and get information. So nothing is very structured here. All the information are there, but you have to employ a lot of localistic attitudes and techniques to get those data. For someone coming from outside, it would be much more easier to tie up with a local partner as opposed to setting up a whole infrastructure here, collecting the data.
So is there a fee for customizing the dashboard and then a license fee?
Right now, we're going with deal-based. So we haven't figured on a repeat customer yet because usually we need market data yearly basis. So we have just on the first year of operation, monthly data as of 2013. But when the next time comes, we will go
Just
to
to be clear,
it.
is the revenue model service-based or is it licensing-based?
Service-based.
Why?
We're testing it out and they like the service, and if they want to renew it, then it will go subscription-based.
Any other questions? Oh, Master Mazina?
You know, credibility of your data would be a big issue.
Definitely.
What are you trying to do for that?
Definitely, because first of all, you need to build a reputation. Given our background, we do have a certain amount of reputation because a lot of the clients that we have was our bank clients as well from our banking desk. And when you get clients like Mitsubishi, then that means they have a trust on your data. So we have a very extensive methodology that we share with the client. This is what we're going to exactly do. This is what we're going to exactly give you. So everything is very transparent, and they can also back check if they want, which they haven't done so far, but they can.
I was wondering how your business model takes into account political risk, social risk. You know, it's all driven by investment, but investors won't come if there's upheaval.
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, we did have a lean month during November, December, where the investment was a bit less. But things like reassuring the customer with Moody's ratings, like Moody has rating of this, and showing that despite the political intervention, there has been a 6 to 7% growth over the last decade, and that is where the future lies, given the 8th largest consumer market here. So highlighting those kind of points and giving the mitigants that if you do this, your safety will be ensured. So those things are there, but definitely it's a challenge, and it is going to be there in emerging markets. That's given.
All right. Thank you very much, Vijay. Fantastic. Can I get Panacea up here next?
Happy from a market so that government can take accurate measures based on this data. We'll also have inbuilt sales data like how many benefits are being sold of the general health impacts of the country. What do we already have? We have interest from the 2 largest pharmas in the market, and we're possibly going to have a pilot testing with the 3rd largest pharma in the country in the next few months. Success metrics will be based on the market share of our partner farmers and the verification requests we get per period, and also the threats we receive. Believe me, I have received some. Panacea's market will be available to anyone who has a feature phone, and we have 100 plus consumers who have it in Bangladesh, and there are 150 plus companies in the market as well. Market structure looks like this. 10 of the largest companies hold 50% of the market share, and the rest goes alongside. So realistically, for 3 years, we're going to partner with 5 farmers with a total market share of 25% and allow 17 million consumers to verify their medicines. Competition-wise, there are a few. There's Proxil in Africa, Pharmacycor in India, Booster in the US. The barrier to entry will be country knowledge, because I seriously thought, why don't I launch in India first? But because Bangladesh is my home country and I have more access to the industry here, this would be a better market for me, and also the focus on the tech. The team is very important. We have a government liaison who is John Secretary of the Ministry of Health, who's going to get a sort of meeting. And we have a lot of medical professionals in my family. And Global Health Strategies is a policy partner. It's based in the US, who's going to advise us on policies on how to approach the government and such. And we have Kaufman Foundation as our outreach partner, who's taking us to the US in July to help us develop this technology. Cost and revenue-wise, our year-one cost will be $150,000, and most of which will be used to launch a service and the marketing campaign, and the revenue per company will be $50,000, give or take a few $1,000. The revenue projections is look at the margin here, that would make things easy. And the exit options will be to sell to our competitors, because if you want to get out of the market, then we will tell them that stocks will come us and take our service, and also we can sell a license to operate in this market from any pharmaceuticals in the country as well. So next step would be to get the government support in this, so that they make this serialization and mandatory requirement for the pharmaceuticals to follow here. That would give the consumers a lot of safety and also a lot of added sales to the pharmaceuticals. We are working with the concerned authorities for the Food and Drug Administration in this regard. So stay with Panacea. The future is original. Thank you.
Thank you. Judges, questions?
Yeah. One thing I noticed about $130 million.
Yeah.
And your threats by people.
Yeah, of course.
Not only is it dangerous for you in this country to do that, But these people are going to figure out a way to circumambulate your serialization process because it's 130 million bucks, right? What have you thought about that? What is your strategy to counter that? And do you have a bodyguard?
So what happened before was you could take one medicine and make 1,000 or 1 lakh copies of it and sell it to the consumers for a cheap amount of money. But now, because we have a different code for every medicine stream, you can only make one copy from one medicine packet. So the cost of counterfeiting is very high now. So it would deter them. But of course, as they're intelligent, I will get more intelligent as well. The police in that country is very intelligent, but the thieves are. So the process goes like this.
You know, the fundamental challenge you face is not counterfeit, it's whether something is generic, acceptable or not. Because I don't know how you actually prove that the chemical composition of a generic pharmaceutical product is counterfeit.
No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that pharmaceutical in your hand comes from the source it is supposed to come. I am not going to check the chemical composition. That's not what I'm doing.
But I'm sorry, is counterfeit an issue here?
Yeah, definitely. Because, for example, if you buy a medicine from a company and you have the wrong medicine, someone else made a copy of it and sold you with a substandard formula, that's the counterfeit as well. So that's the issue with Blessed. I'm blocking them from supplying you counterfeit medicines, but I'm not checking the chemical composition.
Any more questions?
Do we have time?
Yeah.
Okay. One quick question I had is that you, at one point you mentioned that you're going to somehow influence the government to make it a mandatory risk. You understand that once you make it a government requirement, you have to go through a tender and everything. And you will not be the only player there.
No, of course
They
not.
will have to allow other players. So I was wondering, why don't you just do a like bottom-up marketing? Because the pharmaceutical companies definitely has a lot to benefit out of it. You know, I mean, why you are choosing the government route?
Because it will open up the market for me. For now, for me, I have to go to every pharmaceutical store, ask them, this is the benefits I give you, why don't you take the service? But if it is open for all, like this has happened in the European Union, so then the whole market opens and then I can pursue even more pharmaceuticals.
Sorry, but 5 players control 80% of the market.
Yeah.
So why do you need to go to the government?
Because they need a little bit push to get the system in their system, get the service into the system. Because they're a little reluctant to take it, even if it benefits the consumers. But it increases the sales a lot. Because when you give to the consumers that my medicine is verified and no one can make a copy of it, then it gives them automatic increase in sales.
One last question. So, in terms of consumer awareness, that's really critical because the consumer has to know whether or not to look it up in order for them to get any value out of it. Can you explain more about how you're going to do that?
Yes. How we're going to do it is there is a system in Bangladesh called mobile recharge points. It's like the same as the POS machines in the US, which is ubiquitous, it's everywhere. So I'm going to install a flyer or a banner at every one of those. I've talked with the Association of Mobile Recharge Points. So consumers are going to know about them, and I'm also going to ensure my presence in the pharmacies and hospitals so that consumers get to know that this is a problem in the country and there is a way to verify the medicines. And also in the pills that are listed with me, I have that chain printed on the back of it. So.
All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you. All right, up next we have Shobji Bazaar, and that will be our last day of the day. 7 exciting ones, 7th and last one. All right? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let's see what is the problem and what is the solution. And here, there is no time to go outside and buy vegetable. Suddenly they found Sobji Bazar, and she thinks that maybe Sobji Bazar will be a surprise gift to her wife tonight. Let's see. Sobji Bazar delivery teams deliver ready product get ready product and deliver to their home. And within 3 hours, they deliver to our subscriber. And let's see another, and then they live happily life. And let's see, this is another problem. Shoes are selling in the super fancy market, and vegetable in our country are selling in the streets. We have to change this tradition, and we have to change the world, and we have to enjoy the healthy life. We produce organic vegetable, and we never use formalin to our product to keep it fresh. We use hygienic packets, and it is ready to cook. Our package is mixed vegetable. Okay. We deliver free home delivery, and price is quite reasonable. And our targeted customer is not only online buyer, then super shops, then institution, and as well as the importer of vegetables. And our targeted customer is 1.2 billion US dollar per year sales. And we are expecting, Bangladesh government is getting 20% incentive in this sector to develop our agriculture industry. So why not we help our government to run this industry? And as a startup company, 20% profit is quite good profit at very early stage. I'm sorry. So this is our team. Actually, this is my family. And apart from this team, we have farmers and we have advisor. And being startup company, these countries are our competitor, and they're far ahead from us in many ways. And in the local market, we have local suppliers, local producer, and branded super shops. They are our competitors. And we have, this is my milestone, we had started our journey early of 2013, and after soft launch and testing, we are making revenue from online sales, and we are expecting export to Singapore. We had already had some meeting with Singapore, one of the biggest buyer of Singapore, from July. And why I am here? I want to create a modern integrated agro industry in this country, which will serve really good, best quality vegetable to our local people and as well international people. Our business model is very simple. We produce the product, sell to the customer, and making money from them. And our marketing team will follow this kind of activities. For export, we are targeting online marketing, B2B, and for online sales, we are targeting telemarketing, and for institution and super shop sales, we are targeting face-to-face marketing, then Google advertisement, and etc. And I do believe that on the next upcoming time, agro industry will be one of the biggest industry in this country. Thank you very much.
Judges, questions? Who wants to stage judges? Over there, Mike. Right over there, take a mic.
So my question is around cost competitiveness. You have an increased cost because of the delivery service system. So how are you going to compete with the guys who are just selling on the street who don't have that infrastructure cost? The merchants on the street, they don't have to deliver, so they have a lower cost structure. How you compete?
So if you get the good quality, we consider the good quality product and fresh, and people will pay a little bit more.
So you are charging a premium plus the
in the product. Maybe.
So you said your team is your family, or what are they doing?
Because I always try to. I'm spending most of the time with them, so I'm trying to make them happy, and just so that they can work. Yeah.
This is a great idea. How do you compete with the grocery stores who might just consider adding a delivery business to the existing infrastructure? How do you compete with that?
Do I compete?
আপনি compete করবেন কিভাবে? Grocery stores সাথে। You have a lot of grocery stores.
Yeah. So we just supply to our grocery stores our branded product so that they can go to grocery shops and they can buy from shops. So I already told that super shops is our targeted customer.
Any other questions?
So, are you going to scale out by having other farmers sign on as well? Or make produce, or is it going to be just yours?
How are you
going to scale the business?
Scale the business. We just increase our buyer to
কিভাবে বড় করবেন আপনাদের মানে অন্য ফার্মারদেরকে একসাথে আনবেন আপনার সাথে না আপনি একা শুরু করবেন?
No, farmer will come and help us.
Ambassador Medina, last question.
There are hundreds of different kinds of fruits and vegetables in Bangladesh. Are you going to be able to provide all of them to your customers? And how do I know whether I can trust that your products don't have formalin?
So the delivery man will keep a formalin testing machine with them, and they can instantly test the formalin is present or not. It's all product is most of the product will produce by ourselves in our own industry, so I can control ourselves.
Sure. Okay. We have another ex-ambassador.
Yes, I'm Ambassador Mohsin Khan from Bangladesh. I want to ask you a question. Would you also include the fruits also? Because nowadays you are worried about taking the fruit. You talked about the vegetable.
Only vegetable right now.
So you don't have to plan including
No.
Fruits.
Only vegetables.
Only vegetables.
Only vegetables right now.
Thank you.
Sure. Last question, real quick, 30 seconds.
One quick question. Formal testing machine.
Yeah.
How expensive?
About 1 lakh each.
All right. So thank you very much. That ends our presentations. So a couple of things I'd like to just announce. The winner of this today, I wouldn't say the winner. Everyone is a winner at the end of the day. But first place, there's a $3,000 prize money. Second place, we have a $750 prize money with a mini iPad. Third place, we have a mini iPad. And then all top 7 will be getting mentorship from global and local mentors. But we invite all the startups that are here, StartupDhaka, CRDF Global, we will all try to help you and matchmake as much as we can. For now, Ovidiu and Natalia will take the judges for deliberations. And then we have all the startups that are showcasing over here on the right, and we also have tea outside. So please mingle, look at the startups, and be back here exactly at 4:15 to start again. All right, thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
you for sitting down. Right now I'm going to talk about a story. That story started 7 months back. So when we were doing all this tech stuff in the last year, in the middle of July, I was talking with Samad and Fayaz and Riyad and other guys, Nash, Sajid. I said, a lot of things happening here, but nobody knows about it. We need to tell this story. It was frustrating because a lot of times I met a lot of startups, but they didn't understand the basic business fundamentals. So that was a frustration. And then I met fantastic companies like Harmon Launchpad, Singularity, Newsthread, and I was blown away. And I said, we have to tell the story. So how do we share this story? So I said, let's do a documentary. And I said, let's do this documentary with a style, and so that people are entertained. And then what we thought about, how about, a lot of people say about money, our idea doesn't get executed because of funding. So let's try out crowdfunding and see whether we can actually do it. So that would be a good example of showing people that it can be done here. So we did Indiegogo crowdfunding film project, which looks like this. And let's bring out StartupDhaka. How many people heard about StartupDhaka before this event? Can I see your hand? Okay. Good amount, around 40%. But after today, it would be 100%. Right? That's good. So let's click off StartupDhaka. It's on the far left corner. Yeah. So our project goal was to raise $8,500, and we raised $9,002. Clap. And we raised this money over 50 days from 56 backers around the world, friends, family, and strangers. So we got corporate sponsors too. One of the first corporate sponsors was Iraj and Shafqat from Newsthread. So I always remember them very fondly. And obviously there were other partners like Dell, Payza, Loose Monkey. Sorry if I'm forgetting people. So now after 7 months, you obviously are thinking, okay, if you want to find about startup things or happenings in Dhaka, what do? Let's do Google. Let's see if you want to find out about startups in Dhaka, what kind of results you get. Okay? Boom! First result is StartupDhaka. This is organic. We are not doing any stuff. So the first thing that comes in our results is StartupDhaka. So what is StartupDhaka after 7 months? So I'm proud to say we've been working behind a few months, and we are launching officially today, right here, right now, StartupDhaka news site. Clap to me. Woo! Thank you. In 1 minute. How many people are in spaces? All right, let's go there. Let's grab. Okay, these are we have videos, people, interviews. So the best thing about this site is that we do videos. I don't think none of the online site does videos. We do. And one of the things that we do is that if you want to promote your company or services, we can do native advertising or sponsored articles for you, so that you don't have to think about it. We also take care of your banner ads. Just like Apple, we want to give a great user experience. So if you want to, if this site is live, you can check it now. And please spread the word. And if you want any help in advertising, sponsorship, whatever, Imran Khan and StartupDhaka.org on the site. Check it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, guys. Getting excited, huh? A little bit nervous for some of the startup teams. Wanted to find out who won. But before that, we have a few things we have to cover. Whoa. I heard something great. No. Can I have, we're going to have a small discussion with a few of our guests that have flown in and all the way. So can I have Over to you. Please come and introduce the moderator and everyone.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Great. It's time for the next wave. Let's do it from this part. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, no, that was not way. Come on,
try
come on.
it until we get it right. You don't move with the program.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Good, good.
Hey, much better, huh?
Yeah.
So, thank you everyone for being with us. It's my pleasure to introduce you the moderator for the next panel. It's my colleague Natalia Pipia. We have been working very closely for the last 2.5 years in implementing the GIST initiative and a number of other projects. She has been instrumental actually in providing a very creative platform for the programs that we are doing, for the competitions, for the Tech Connects, and also for the bootcamps that we are organizing. And she's very supportive of actually youth entrepreneurship in emerging markets. It's my pleasure to welcome Natalia Pipia. Thank you.
On stage. Thank you, Miriam, for the introduction, and they stole my wave. I wanted to do the wave myself, but please take a seat. Anywhere.
Zarput.
One more chair.
Good. Can I get one more chair, please? Can I get one more chair? Oh, please. Oh, we're getting the chair.
And stand. I'll be asking you questions.
Can I get the microphone?
Still here. I'm very excited. That means that we're going to talk about the entrepreneurial ecosystem building, and I'm glad that you're still here. And you, because without you, entrepreneurial ecosystem would not exist. And we're almost ready. You know almost everyone here. I would like to introduce Zarif Munir. He is a partner managing director of Boston Consulting Group. He is the guy who just flew in from Kuala Lumpur today. And he works closely with the Fortune 500 companies in industrial goods, consumer and healthcare and software development space. And he's very impressive. He worked basically all over the world. He worked in Asia, Latin America, and North American offices. Welcome. We have Jim Bagnola. You met him today, and I think everyone spent quite some time. He's a good friend of GIST Initiative. He's been with us to many countries, and everybody loves him. Welcome, Jim. We have Thor Ernsten here. He is the star entrepreneur. We're very fortunate to have you here, Thor. He is the celebrity. Welcome, Thor. And I have Jim Davidson. He's an early stage investor and advisor with more than 20 years experience in internet technology. He had leadership position at AOL, but also was involved in early stage companies like ShareThis.com, Examiner.com, and co-founder of LaborFair.com. Welcome, Jim. And we have Jim, another Jim. He will have Jim Chang, who is our friend, who runs the entrepreneurship office at the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And Jim was instrumental in setting up the entrepreneurship program at this university, and which is ranked number one of the top 20 entrepreneurship program in the whole United States, and thanks to his efforts. Welcome. Yes, and we have Shur Man, who is a serial entrepreneur and investor from Bangladesh. He's a co-founder of Intelligent Image Management Company, a business process outsourcing company, and Kisan Botanics, a disease-resistant seed production company. And he's been a judge yesterday and today, so we thank you so much for your effort as well. And everybody knows, you're gonna sit here, right? No, I'll stand. I'll get you guys sitting, I'll stand. And I'll have Fayaz here. Please welcome Fayaz. He's it's really The benchmark for our partnership has increased, and it started really with the telephone call that we had with Fayaz initially. But once we had the Skype call, I think we were on the same page. We were very impressed with StartupDhaka, with him and his partner, Mustafiz. And we basically agreed on all the points and started working together. It wasn't more than 8 weeks ago that we started the whole process, and here we are now with the bootcamp and a demo day. Thank you very much.